that was probably his best falling map when he was with the Timbermen. So, I mean, it gets even more damning when you look at it in that sense.
Yeah, I feel like if you're maybe a stats guy like I am, you might look at the stats and the win rates here for Boss on Mirage, seeing as that's the first map that we're getting in this opening BO1, and think, oh, this is bad news. They're in trouble. Yeah, not really. I agree. I think that, if anything, they get a bit of a buff. I think this is one of Snav's best maps to call on, and on an individual level, he can be really strong here too. But, a lot of those losses are to NRG. They have three straight losses to NRG, so you're not too worried about that one.
IGL, it's Frizzy that's unfortunately right over in arms with Little Beer, right at empty pillar. And one of the longer standing duos of a squad like this is unfortunately just let loose beginning of the game. Boss are not taking any prisoners on B. Beanox trying to get back with the group he has here with Market and has in these last couple of months, Vincent.
Yeah, I mean, he's joined forces with Bagel. It's Taggy who's up catwalk, and unfortunately, it hasn't started off all that well. Now, Beanox getting pressured, and the Opera goes down early on into this one. It's a flawless win, too. 5 stay alive for Boss. What a dominant pistol round to start things off with on Mirage.
Yeah, Fruit Cup, he's back hitting that too. Slight also popping off within coordination. We were obviously touching about that CCT tournament. We have a couple of times already. And it was a little bit of an interesting situation where Shane was actually like sticking in as the 5th player for this roster, right on that rifling position. He's obviously quite a talent in his own right. So I think that it spoke to, the leadership of this lineup, right? How it may look on a guy like Wolf to, be able to stand there and really kind of conduct your own business no matter where you're in the server. And right here, it's Little Beer that is kind of throwing it off the pace already to meet them right at it. It's this boost right up, and it's the force into the round, Vincent. Boss are bringing them right back on it towards B.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Chicken Coop, it's not started out all that well. Frizzy still here on the site. He's got some backup as well. It's not like he's alone. Good maneuver, but he takes a dink in the process. He'll try and get back around the corner. Little Beer can't come help because he's now dead. The 5-7 goes back in, but to no avail. Chicken Coop have fallen bit by bit, one by one, and it's the same. A bit of a mirror image. A flawless victory. Anti-force buy as well. Done and dusted.
And what are we doing here, boss? Our player to watch tonight hasn't had to get involved with the kill so far in these first 2 rounds, right? I know we were kidding and kind of, letting up to see how much, strength you have on a team like this. That's where the conversation was going with, what I was putting out there about how that swap in for Shane still, led to them getting a 2nd place. I believe Fruit Cup having some, army responsibilities in real life. So a good reason to be away from the team, I suppose.
Yeah, if you're going to have some responsibilities, fair enough, right?
Yep.
When it comes to something like that. But, straight back into the server, it seems, after that, for the last week, I think, as well. It was just that one weekend. And it's back to this B side. I mean, Boss, to be honest with you, feels like they are kind of sending it in a little bit scrim style, making sure to cross the T's, dot the I's. It's not like they're swinging out there without covering their bases, but what they are doing is just using their utility effectively and breaking apart what is ultimately a very tepid hold for Chicken Coop when you're on pistols.
Yeah, they're just going to be... it'll be Frizzy to get back involved, whereas Bagel getting dinked down and maybe Frizzy a little bit quicker than I supposed, but... Vincent, obviously, there was one team that we saw. We do have Taggy kind of around here with the 5-7, but when we were looking at the standings to begin, right, there was one team that was, I believe, number 2, particularly when we got up there. I do have it up right now. They are 8-2. Those Party Astronauts, Vincent, looking to recuperate, obviously, with, a loss of Viz, I think, back and, having to shuffle to go. I think we just found out that they're going to be able to, kind of recover from that. So, don't count the Astronauts out.
I mean, here, I feel like maybe unfair of me, but, there's a lot of very beatable teams in this season of Challenger League. So, if they can toss together, based on the core they had previously, a, experienced roster, I think they'll be doing okay. Here's the gun round, and unfortunately, Bagel's gun doesn't even get a chance to start firing off. Slight on the swing from Palace side, gets the frag onto the player towards CT. Chicken Coop have a lot to fall back into, and Frizzy, his retake becomes so much harder when he's eating nades and stepping into fire. And then Slight takes advantage, but Frizzy's now alone, Mark. Oh no.
Yeah, in these first 4 rounds, I think Slight has gotten more entry kills. Like, he's 7-0. He's having quite a margin for it. You know, he's out and about. Frizzy's still, you know, rending off the cusp of getting all that utility damage right at the beginning of a retake like this. 1v4 won't be set and pass. Heck, at this point, I'm not sure he's going to be getting out with the gun, but, I mean, Boss have certainly put up a, you know, convincing reign where you should get out towards middle and be okay. You know, only Wolfie to bite the dust, but I will line it, you know. That's the first kill that Chicken Coop do get on the board. Boss are entirely so intimidating when those rifles get in the hands, and now you get that op up and you hand it to a man like Slight, who's already 7-0 and he's on Mirage. Vincent, that ain't good. That ain't good.
Slight's a guy that rolls with confidence too. You know, when he gets moving, he improves exponentially because he's just willing to play much more aggressively. And yeah, it's scary to let him get into that position early. It's the saved rifle and a little bit more, you know, loss bonus accruing means that they're going to be able to do something with pistols, but it's not ideal for Chicken Coop. And yeah, I mean, if you weren't going to mention it, I was. The fact that it's Taggy, the soul dude. I mean, when it rains, it pours, right? Like, there's
no kidding.
Literally nothing else you could have done better there if you were Taggy.
I guess it's Wolf that is still hanging around for this. Look, I can, you know, reopen that Taggy book if you want. Obviously, a guy that, you know, you just saw peeking in on an Undone roster, a ton of teams, even Akimbo, right? He finds he finds a home. You know, that was even with question for a team like this, but, you know, he's taking his opportunity in stride, just like Frizzy is out of this spawn. He's actually swapped out to the Deagle, and it's worked out quite well, at least for now. Has to work on to the second, right outside of Apex here, but at a man disadvantage. It's Chicken Coop that haven't given up on a round like this. Little Beer was given that premium rifle, and he is already far, far built into the hills. It's going to be a perfect start already for Boss up the board, and they're out with 4 players. That's been their worst result so far.
Yeah, and that is not a bad result at all. A Little Beer, thankfully, should be allowed to save this. I mean, they're going to test him, but this is a very favorable fight the first time he takes a shot. Now doesn't have to continue fighting. So Little Beer not only on the board, but going to get the rifle out into the next round in addition to that. With Boss 5-0 to start off this Mirage. You love to see it. An attack pause called. I think this is definitely a good one, and I think that it's a perfect time to pull up a talking point that we didn't get into very much, right? What is the status of this team's leadership, right? When they come into this season with Supa as their op IGL, who, you know, has had a long history of being able to bring a team up to that type of level, right? And make it to this type of level, but then struggles to stay here. Well, now he's gone.
And as you go to illustrate, a swap out like that is obviously not easy to tackle, right? You know, we fear teams even preseason, like getting out a switch like that, right? There wasn't a ton of time for, you know, Snav and Cryptic alike to settle into their new units when we were going. It was, you know, quite an exciting turn of the new year, quite literally, when a lot of those roster moves were happening. But, you know, this team in particular has had quite a margin. So I think that if they can get on base, you know, find a good way to turn a guy like Taggy on, who's not been able to, you know, find an environment yet that is not completely been able to break him, right? I mean, that's definitely the sweetest part about it. Same thing with Fruit Cup, though. He's really been doing well. Unfortunately, you do see that strike right back. It's Taggy down below. He's put up this smoke right below it, Vincent. Still alive, still gets another stab out onto A, and will likely have to be required for more, but he's done enough.
I mean, he has, you would think, but 2v2, Freshie gets confirmation. Slight's Ott now posts on the same angle as Little Beer, asked to clutch up once more. We'll see if this can go forward. That's an exposed plant position. Slight, really aggressive, talking about the confidence that he's feeling. That's one of them. And over to the AK, but he escapes out and into CT with low HP. HP, sure, but the AK even better with Little Beer's kit, though. A smoke on the bomb could be the killing blow.
How often do you see the Opper drop this in the opportunity, even on the low health? Little Beer is going to be tapping on one, set the Swift right over, but it's Little Beer with the flick over on the USP, grabbing Chicken Coop. Their first round on Mirage, threads it through, and even recovers the AWP at the end. He's got Beanox a little present.
It's just massive. It's a massive win for Little Beer. You know, a guy trying to take advantage of one of the first huge opportunities, right? I think, you know, we were talking in the green room, you know, especially for guys like Frizzy, Little Beer, Bagel. These are guys that haven't had the opportunity to step forward into Challenger League just yet until this season. Had an incredible Cinderella run last season of Advanced to get here, and you got to be taking advantage of that. You know, Little Beer doing so by getting Chicken Coop on the board.
No, a guy, you know, you can really compare him to, you know, we spoke about the Iron Club earlier. A guy like Talon who's had to make his own opportunities. You can really respect that. Obviously, bringing in names like Taggy and Beanox amongst a couple of different rosters, right? Saw Beanox on that, you know, primary Canadian lineup last season. Slight gets in with an opening frag. And I think that's the first time you can get that down on the AWP. What is this? Fight back by Bagel onto Stairs. That is awfully Swifty onto Freshie. Wolf, oh, he's just exchanged positions here with Frizzy. I guess comfortable into ladder, but oh, how have you gotten there? Wolf, he's surprised, but he'll be the man for the job.
Well, fortunately for Frizzy, Bagel has the help that is required, and I mean, that's Slight's confidence coming back, as we talked about. Oh, Beanox gets into position, a great angle to work with, but misses the shot. Now Snav can scale forward, can get into a great position to maybe take this back and find some success. Getting the bomb down, though, it's complicated, and now even more so because it's on Snav's back.
Right.
If he's over on window. This is scary.
Gets that shot off, switches back, and I mean, Snav now gonna have to get mobile. We know that because of the bomb here, but a Beanox line that he just is gonna cross, and the fire finishes the job. A 2v2, that's Swift. But are you expecting Taggy? No, for the one. And right here, it's back to Beanox, who's gonna have to play this oh so patient. 20 seconds to go. It's 1v2 essentially for Snav.
That is tragic timing. Snav crosses just as Beanox goes away, but this early move is probably going to pay off. The very least, Beanox should be entirely unknown on this flank. Problem is that Snav has a ton of time to try and figure this out, but he should never be anticipating this, surely.
Is it back-to-back 1v1s for a team like Chicken Coop? It must be. That's what it requires. Oh, but the timing even worse. The X-Ray gets his head right around the window, but just the spotting out here and trying to go mobile, trying to be dynamic. It is Snav that will just capitalize on every single mistake. A 3K for the captain, a 6th round in his pocket, and Boss, they're back on top.
And this is what Snav brings. I think that when Boss picks him up, right, it seems like honestly, a team-ending loss to lose Cryptic and Darty at the same time, to be very frank with you, Mark. And you know, that was my opinion at the moment, but they target Snav, they get a guy that can absolutely do the job and has the, you know, more firepower than even Cryptic, who I think Cryptic does a pretty good job of fragging as an in-game leader, even though he's certainly not a star. I think he does a, you know, decent enough job. Snav even better at that and shows it off in the clutch.
Freshie, the man that has worn this jersey for one of the longest bits now with how we add this up. He's going to be holding this down in middle. Just 2 there off of the half buy-in, right? Quite a couple equipped MP9s there, rather. Going and dipping in. There is that operate out at Palace. Little Beer that's all left alone. And measuring up your investment like this, can't blame a guy for trying. But unfortunately, Boss are going to be coming up 5 alive. Vincent, look, man. I know that we talk about getting the bag, right? It's a whole joke, dude. Boss, I don't know what's happened. They are, I was about to just say, you had 3 players on 5 figures, only Freshie now, but they are rich.
Yeah, I mean, bag acquired, at least for now. Org acquired, question mark?
Okay, there you go.
There's been some
ice
rumors
broken. Ice broken.
Around.
Yeah, they all the sacred contract signing emote they put on Twitter, right?
Yeah, they did. So, you know, some conversations happening, clearly going pretty well. Love to see that, and you love to see Slight once again just, you know, letting Beanox play into his own demise. Unfortunately, Bagel trying to move through, and Maybe not so much move through. I don't think he was actually attempting that. Otherwise, would have had a very clear indication that Wolf was in that smoke.
They had Taggy right here in this position last time. Had to get away with the 2K. It takes a moment, but they end up pushing both of those bodies out, and then the old duo that's been, wearing a group of jerseys together, Little Beer and Frizzy, are going to be left alone to save, and maybe just Frizzy.
Yeah, I mean, and hard maybe on that because the bomb yet to be planted. But I want to note something on the A-bomb site there.
Yes.
Right? It was a setup that was very successful for Chicken Coop in previous rounds. Taggy under balcony was able to play off of that, gets the smoke off onto the Molotov, and has a flash coming back over. But Boss, so quick to adjust. They recognized what really beat them in a previous attempt at that A play, and we're ready to counter that flashbang. Just a quick movement adjustment of the crosshair to dodge out on it.
Oh no,
that's enough. It's a little bit of team
we're
damage.
shooting our teammate's body. Oh goodness me. Fruit Cup is back, and I mean, I will say, obviously, there's a little bit of celebration there. That's what we'll call it at the end. A lot of personalities that you have on a lineup like Boss, and, for a really positive margin. You add in a guy like Fruit Cup that was in, like, the last 6 months. I mean, you really replaced a lot of, firepower that was, coming in the way. Obviously, it's Ben Snab that has been able to take advantage of a guy, like Peeping, who we see are playing on the A stream tonight. Obviously, a lot of success there. Seeing him take full advantage of a guy like Fruit Cup just gets ruined when Slight has 13 frags in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, Slight farming as well feels like a huge boon for these guys. That's an opening pick, though. Something to talk about, at least positive-wise, for Chicken Coop. But Bagel will lose his life, and it's Taggy over on the A extremity that goes down in the process. Bad news here for Chicken Coop is their advantage turns disadvantage. And Beanox, it's not the big green, it's the small green, if you will, in the scout.
Get what you get, Vincent. I don't think Beanox is going to be throwing a fit at this point. It'll be good to really check in wherever. And I thought that might have came a little bit quicker towards A here. Though this rotation is actually very nice. You're gambling well. You abandon a side of the map where, honestly, you've let a lot towards that end part of the round to this B side. So why not stack those chips over towards A and see what they can come up with. That nade is not looking too great for Frizzy. Slight is going to be getting that, and all of a sudden it's now down onto Little Beer. A whole lot more than a 1v1 you would have to pull off this time, Vincent.
Impressive trading for Boss to get out here without too many losses and smoke into Little Beer's face. He doesn't have many other opportunities to go for this. I feel like that's usually a save angle, but at 8-1, it's a get what you can. Hope that you can find a miracle clutch, and that's what it'll tend to. Fruit Cup not given the respect that deserves, and he'll pay with his life for it. Slight, though, and Snab in two diametrically opposed angles here. The crossfire perfect as he'll try to chop these up. Slight on the timing, and all good to bring it into the 9th round victory.
This is just so ridiculous. I mean, you spoke about, even, right, we can go back to the, I guess, conversation of the dynamic personalities, right? I mean, a guy like Slight has been a dude that you've seen through the years at so many local lands within North America. And if you haven't seen his face, then you've certainly heard him. What a guy that is, extremely passionate and vocal when he gets to that land center. I got a feeling he may be keeping up his household right now. 15-3, I would certainly be loud.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I get to see him like on camera, at a land, he's incredibly vocal, that's for sure. Gets in the mix there, can be the lifeblood of a team with regard to keeping everybody in the positive mental space and feeding energy to the rest of the squad. A little bit of aggression into Palace for Chicken Coop into this round. They get two forward positions there. In the meantime, Boss with full mid control, making this look quite simple, quite easy at the moment. The bomb is currently out towards there, but Fruit Cup, oh, it's so free. And even though Fruit Cup's getting flanked, this is not going to matter.
This time they head else, yeah. It'll come right here. I guess for Little Beer, he does strike through. Bagel now gets even that contact through. Fruit Cup just senses it. Chicken Coop got one round. Boss times it by 10. This thing is not even close in the first half, Vincent. One-sided affair with that T side just really rolling through. And Fruit Cup, you see it yourself. That's an M249. He has bought it on the board. Good thing they added that return key. We're not getting too crazy here on the B stream tonight. Not yet.
Hey, there's still plenty of time.
That's
Wolf
what
will
I'm
pick
saying.
it up. There we go. He got it. He's got it. Listen, I said something crazy the other day. The M249, it's not that bad.
All right, this guy's crazy. Yeah, and it's a little wild here in A2. Look, Vincent, it's going to suit you. Wait, no, Wolf actually has it. All right.
Yeah, it's
live experiment time. Vincent has presented himself with an hypothesis here. I want to see it tested oh so bad, but you've sort of drawn in a fine line. Now they're going to get going.
Wait,
our
time.
observer, he understood the assignment with the M249 here. Please go through the smoke bagel. We are begging you, and he does. Wolf is going to be letting him down, but I don't think with that. It's a 1v3 for Frizzy, and he must be awfully intimidated. Not with this spam, please.
Oh, absolutely. This is the perfect time for that
Lord.
M249. Forces Frizzy out in the open. See, it's all part of the plan, Marky. I think we tested the hypothesis, and we've come away with the very clear conclusions with no question marks at all that I was right. M249's goated.
Certainly scientifically, but I think we're going to have just a little bit of a pop before we do reach into that second half of Mirage, Vincent. So we'll be right back.
Overrated, yeah. If you make one, you will fall. Too much of a temptation, yeah. There's a comfort in the crawl. Now I've been on my feet too long. I know I'm strong, just looking for some solid ground. So I can start to run. I don't wanna be tired, moving so bad. I don't wanna be tired. Feels like it's my time. I don't need your light. Don't you waste your time.
And it's time to go for boss. I'm assuming a close. The time will tell if it's going to be a quick one or a slow burn. Because 11-1, I mean, what a comeback that would be for Chicken Coop.
Yeah, it's something to go ahead and check in with, you know, quite quick and a half. It's a comeback you're going to have to doctor here and, you know, even a pistol round to lose and let this up to 12, Vincent, well, it's hard to not make me a believer. Yeah, I'll say that, and it's a little disappointing, right? Maybe we can get Wolf to sneak through the smoke and show why he was our player to watch. Actually, my wish, his command, seemingly. He's going to be patient here. Maybe we'll look towards Snav first, who's going to be reaching in, looking to go mobile here, out of ammo to get down. Wolf, in the meantime, has gone down in middle. Look at who is refreshed right through CT. It's the Freshie all alone. Look, Chicken Coop, they might be buying their ticket right into this half.
I mean, it certainly is the first step in taking a half by storm. 1v4 for Fruit Cup, some low HP bars, but good work for Chicken Coop. Not giving him any unnecessary fights. The only man really playing around with that is Taggy. Now off the contact comes the second swing, and it is up against now Fruit Cup at 4 HP with the dink. And that is unlikely to net anything more, no kit either. It'll just be a timing situation. Enox sees that he has given up the gambit. But an extra couple $100. And he doesn't give $300 back. It's not a two-way street. Down to the bomb. Nobody gets money for that one.
Credit Little Beer with a WC that frag in late towards Freshie on CT. Good work by the Chicken Cube to, not even really look intimidated waltzing into an A site at all. I mean, what real little stipulation are you going to let up in such a fine margin like this? Going to send this Mirage where you're going to see them try and put good film out there, really to get a nice buy onto paper here. It's going to be maybe rather a boss-inspired half. They're looking to reach into B with their first bonus round against the Eco.
Well, it's the right place to go reaching. There's nobody there. Literally empty of all CTs for the time being. Fruit Cup, though, they'll still stands a little bit of a tentative hold here in market. Nice shot. Not from Fruit Cup, but from the P250 over on the other side. A little bit of a scary moment. Damage done onto Little Beer, but they'll hard clear. And it shouldn't be too much of a problem from here.
I do like Wolf hanging around and getting this one. Obviously reaching up and getting a little bit more off of a round like this. Ooh, and a little bonus for Freshie. Why not grab a little Mac 10 and see if you can get this joyride into middle going. A nice solid standoff you have. Ruined by Beanox, who comes in, gets that kill. 4 versus 1. Beanox even wrapping up shop here with that third round onto the awaiting under player. Chicken Coop, back to back. That's something we haven't said before.
It's true, but it's also pistol round and an eco. Now we talk about real rounds that are a lot more difficult, a lot more up against them. I'm referring to the firepower boss. Get the purchase in. Wolf will be the only one who's working less than a rifle. He's got an MP9 in order to get some utility out. And, I mean, this is what I'm talking about when I regard to confidence, right? Slight just swinging mid. Even wants to get into a fight there. Up at the top. Smoke, though, does get filtered into window by the time they get into position. But Fruit Cup from Catwalk elevated here on the bricks boxes. And will drop down after the two-piece. Devastating losses for Chicken Coop.
Ooh, that's a big pickup, though. If you want to really try and reach in the middle of this round, no Slight right where he needs to be. But Beanox, last 2 rounds here has been at least reaching in for his double. The Freshie just going to break them apart. Answer in from Taggy. Maybe a little bit too late by this A extremity player. He's going to have to do a lot more than just that first lurk. But it's Snap, it's Wolf. They're all within distance. An easy reach up for 12. They're going to probably be putting this Mirage up on a shelf where Chicken Coop are not going to be able to reach it quite soon.
Yeah, I don't think that, for me, Fruit Cup necessarily even needs to go back up there, right? But 2 kills has plenty, just feeling that confidence brewing and goes back onto the cap breaks to try again. He goes down and it doesn't even matter. You got a crucial double kill out of Freshie holding the A-bomb site. That is exactly the difference maker. Chicken Coop. I mean, they'll have the buy, but what do they do with it?
Do what you must. Do what is required here. We'll see what Frizzy is going to be striking up here with the last go. Snav, he's going to be breaking the rules going through this smoke, unfortunately. Paying for it. Oh, but Freshy, this is a man that is just going to be following his instincts, maybe for a third. The gun is actually showing and just really covering up for Beanox as well. Bloodbath here in middle. But I'm not sure it's going to be anybody else. Front boss who are going to be getting out of this thing clean, Vincent. Taggy, 1 versus 2. Not terrible positioning to really get in and reattempt this. Timing on the slight could be seen, but slight chance of that happening. 13-3. Mirage is put on lock, Vincent. And that's your first BO1 put onto wraps.
Yeah, I mean, a BO1 that goes by in a flash. Out like a light, at least in this one, our Chicken Coop, his boss, run him through. I mean, genuinely so dominant. And